Fox News contributor Sara Carter. It's just, and to pick up on something, if I hear that word empathy one more time to describe anybody in that party, in the Democrat Party ever again, after what we've witnessed and the callousness from the left and the liberals and all of them about the death and destruction that's rained down on young people and women in this country, enough of them.
You know, Dagan, I went from watching Jamal Bowman and AOC cringe-worthy. It was disgusting. It's embarrassing. They should basically lock themselves inside Camp David with President Biden and not show their faces to the American people, because you're exactly right. We have this beautiful little 12-year-old girl, Jocelyn, who was struggling for her life. I mean, in the end of her life was two men that had brutally raped her, who should have never been in this country. And then they left her for dead. They left her dead in a bayou here only 2 hours away from where I live. You know, I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I was thinking about this. I was thinking about my daughter being subjected to something so horrific. There are no words to express how I feel as a mother, and I know you, Dagan, feel the same way, and Sean, as a father. I mean, this is horrific, and we have an administration that has left the border wide open, an administration that does not care about the American people, does not put the American people first, instead puts our enemies first, and knowingly left the border open so people can die. We've had over 140,000 deaths due to fentanyl and opioid poisonings in this country. It is unacceptable and wrong. I'm going to go on the phone shortly after I get off with you with a mother, Sandra Bagwell, who lost her son to opioid poisoning. Nobody in America is laughing. And if anything, what Jamal Bowman did and what AOC did by going out there and just being an embarrassment, I mean, there's really nothing else they can do but jump around and dance around like that. And by the way, their anti-Semitism is through the roof. It's just unheard of. The American people aren't going to put up with this. And come November, I think that people are going to speak loud and clear. And I think Latimer has the upper hand here, and he's going to win.
You know, you talked about not putting America first. Let's now talk about this. New documents from a disbanded DHS group obtained by America First Legal revealed that the Biden administration viewed military service, religious beliefs, or support for Trump as domestic terrorism threats. The document says, quote, if you ask researchers to dive into the indicators of extremists and terrorism, they might indicate being in the military or religious. It goes on to say that, quote, it seems that most of the domestic terrorism threats now come from supporters of the former president. Sarah, I guess I was shocked to see this because I thought that our government uses the powers that we gave them to focus on actual threats to the homeland. But we now see that our government is using those powers to target the American citizenry itself.
I think this is the biggest threat to our country, Sean.
Yep.
The biggest threat comes from senior members within the bureaucracy, and this goes all the way back to 2015. I would suggest it goes back further, but we really noticed it under the Obama administration, and then later when they began targeting President Trump under the Russia hoax. And we saw that when they collaborated with other news networks like CNN and others. We saw that with Jake Tapper when Clapper leaked the information on the dodgy dossier regarding President Trump, which was all lies, which was very similar to the fact when the 51 intel officers, including James Clapper, including John Brennan and others, let's put Michael Hayden in there as well, and so many more, signed off saying that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, and they lied to the American people. I want people to think about this. Our taxpayer dollars go to train members of the intelligence community to target our adversaries overseas, just as you said, Sean. They go to target adversaries overseas, not to be used against the American people. But see, here's where the rubber meets the road, right? This is where we have to face reality. We do not have a Department of Justice that is willing to hold anybody accountable. And in fact, we have had a DOJ that has expanded the powers and allowed the FBI and other agencies like the National Security Administration to expand its spying on the American people. And that truly terrifies me. These agencies need to be gutted. They need to be cleaned out. And all of those officers, senior officers like Brennan and Clapper and Comey and others, they need their security clearances pulled for good. They're making money off of these clearances, and they're working against the American people.
Sarah, thank you for being here. Sara Carter. And we're going to talk to somebody later in the show when the